You don't have to
I'm
say it.
gonna
You don't.
see you in a couple of weeks, man.
Listen. Hello, everybody. This is the Pedro and Hannibal YouTube channel. The guy over there, they did not want to say he missed me because
No,
it's been a while since we did the show.
real men don't
Mr.
share
Ben,
feelings, you know.
real man. But we're here with Mr. Bet on You, and we were just talking a little bit about me and I guess my situation. I feel like I'm the Brian Windhorse and Tiffany Haggard is LeBron, and I'm just gonna follow her around, and my whole career will be altered because of and then eventually they'll be like, okay, Brian, do you have anything else? And then Brian will be like, yeah, I do. And then is he
And
still on ESPN? I don't
uh,
even know.
I think he is. Yeah, 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 yeah. He is. Or maybe are you? Maybe you're Stephen A. or Skip Bayless. I don't know. Skip
Well,
Bayless.
if it's about the Dallas Cowboys, I'm Skip Bayless. If I'm
Yeah,
Stephen
yeah.
A, it's I don't even know. He's all over the place.
No, but it's Tiffany will do her thing. And for those of you who don't know, it's Tiffany. What's her last name?
Hayyard,
The city
Hayyard.
is the she's the special mayor or whatever the people are over there calling her in Dalton, Illinois, and Hannibal's covering her rise and downfall. But the
Yeah,
good thing is she's going to downfall. I don't think it's peaked yet. I don't think her story's peaked. Hannibal's been covering it, and then there'll be a lot of other people that are scammy that you're going to be able to cover. So it'll be good.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like I was just looking at what Stephen A was even talking about. Do you know anything about the Florida the DEA initiatives? Do you know anything about that story?
Nothing at all. No.
Okay, let me see. So apparently, like Emmett Smith, a lot of people are talking about it. It's political, but I'm gonna show you real quick. So, Florida Governor DeSantis signed a bill banning states, public colleges, and universities from spending money on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
Oh, okay. So I've heard of this guy. He's everything
This,
that's wrong with politics. I don't. This guy I can't stand him, but
yeah,
I've heard a little. I've heard it mentioned before, but I don't know a lot about it. But
yeah,
yeah,
a couple, I think a few. I know Emmett Smith talked about it, and it's a back and forth between who's, I feel like who's conservative, who's obviously into this idea of having talking about the diversity, equity, and
yeah,
inclusion.
yeah.
I mean, if you're in Florida, you're in a more conservative area, so either you're all down for. I know, is it still a purple state? Is a state that's still both? I feel like it's more conservative now than it's.
I think it's been conservative recently. It's been Democrat. It's even still in our life it has. But Florida is one of those states that is it's a swing state. I think they call it, right. It's one of
Right.
those states that when it's either red or blue, the president usually does well.
Right.
Because Florida's got there's a lot of obviously you got your senior citizens and a lot of there's a lot of different types of folks in Florida. A lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans, but then there's parts of Florida there's a lot of Democrats. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those weird states. But this guy right here, man, I don't. He's weird.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. No.
So what do you think? Should there be funding in colleges for diversity, equity, and inclusion? I don't even know what that even means. I mean, he arguing that it's led to discrimination. So he's one of those guys. I know we talked
Yeah.
about this when the Supreme Court took back affirmative action,
Yeah.
whether it's discriminating towards people that have sued Asians, a lot of Asians that were doing well and having high scores, but they weren't getting into the programs because
Yeah.
affirmative action, and that, it has some good points here and there about if it's necessary to have, but the way DeSantis is moving, he's like, it's never necessary. Don't bother. He's been going after Disney and that whole thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I think we talked about it before a couple of months back. I think when you're talking about admissions to a college or you're talking about rewarding somebody for things that they've done, right, in high school and whatever, it should go to the person that's best served. And I think it's like a reverse discrimination in some ways, I guess. If if you're trying to be too inclusive, but you're excluding people that deserve it, it's
Right.
hard. But in this country, we've had people that have been deserving and have been excluded because of the color of their skin and how they look or their background. So it's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Without living in Florida, it's hard to say. I don't know the pulse of that place, but I mean, this guy, it's with his agenda. I think he's part of that. He likes to pander to his audience, his base of people, and he knows what they like, and I think he does that pretty well.
Yeah.
But with the college stuff, man, if you got the grades, you should be able to get in. And if we're talking tiebreakers and stuff, I think diversity is something that's important. But I think in a lot of ways, this country is a lot more diverse than it's ever has been. So I don't know if we need to be pushing agendas just across the box to make ourselves feel good. I don't really agree with that. So
Yeah. Because when we talked about the idea for affirmative action, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably against it because I think you're just finding a way to discriminate against another group of people. And I also thought that if a black kid is going into a school that they're not ready for, that maybe maybe if they went to Yale and they're stressed out because they're just not ready, but if they went to Temple, they may be a valedictorian. And I think we've noticed that it doesn't really matter what school you came from.
No.
But if you have the confidence, you got the skills, and you just got the best possible way of moving, it doesn't really matter. But I remember my cousin, she said, I'd rather have the chance. Put me in the room and let me see if I can drown. I'm like, all right, I guess, I mean, I would love that, right? Like if I had, even if you told me tomorrow I could be the coach of the Knicks, I have no credentials, but I'll take it. Let me fail, right?
I mean, you take it, but then, I don't necessarily disagree with put me in the room. And, I like that passion. I like that, that I like that. It's very competitive, but it's almost long-term is that doing yourselves a disservice. If you're given a position you're not ready for, that you're probably going to fail at, especially if you're giving it to somebody's giving it to you and not everybody agrees that you should be there. Like, that's a tough place to be. So what's the long-term negative effects of like just being handed something because you just want a shot? Like, it doesn't work like that. We should be working towards things, there should be
meritocracy, right?
Yeah. It should be like, I work to get to this position. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough though. Cause I do see that point, but I think we can't go. I think in going forward, sometimes what we've done recently is we try to go backwards too much. And I don't know. I think we got to just, if you can get into school for your grades, you should get in. It shouldn't matter what your last name is, your first name, the color, like those things shouldn't matter. It should be get in based on what you did. That's how I look at it, at least. But
it is like the Thanos, Giannis's brother rule, right? Should he be there?
No, he shouldn't. Technically, he shouldn't.
He should not be there.
But he's there because of his brother. Yeah.
Right. So people should that. I mean, we went back and forth on this, and that. Yes, obviously he could probably come in, like I said, any court, rec league, and destroy everyone. But the fact that he's like a running joke.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I don't think anyone even asked Giannis about it because, first of all, Giannis probably would not respond well. He seems like a kind of guy that gets really defensive, obviously about his family.
Yeah.
But it's like, homeboy, this dude. I mean, right now they're still 20 games above 500. I'm looking at this. They're 41-21.
They haven't lost since the All-Star break. Doc Rivers is starting to figure. They made some moves though. They got Pat Beverly, which whatever you think about, he's and they got they got Beverly. They obviously have still Portis. Lillard's been on a hot streak. Yeah, I mean the Bucks are going to be there it's probably the Bucks and the Celtics are going to come out of the East. I mean those are the two better teams. So I mean the Bucks have I think they've won 5 or 6 in a row despite Doc Rivers being their head coach. So good for them.
Listen, it's a little annoying. And I'm gonna attack your coach or your former coach Tom Thibodeau because I don't know what he's trying to do. Destroy my guy. He's trying to destroy my Brunson.
Brunson, that's tough, bro.
So, someone I wish I saved the graphic. So Brunson hurt himself. X-rays came out negative, but he's probably gonna be out for a little bit. His usage, what do you call it? How do you pronounce it? There you go. Is about a little higher, like 1 point higher than Derrick Rose when he hurt himself. And there are some people, you know how New Yorkers are. We are very stupid and really emotional. Like, what you doing? What you doing, Tom? You're playing him too much. What you trying to do? Run our guy into the ground? He's a small dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't show emotion. Who knows how much pain he's in? But what's your thoughts? Like,
I mean,
Rose's game is not the same as Brunson. I mean, Rose was jumping over people.
Yes.
Athletically not the same in the same league, but Tom, he needed him. and he pushed him and he kept him on the ground floor, obviously. But what do you think? Should Tom even get any kind of criticism for this, or is it just one of those things? You play, you get hurt.
You play and you get hurt. He's getting criticism because there's some parallels, right? And there's some similarities, and there
point guards,
exactly.
A lot of play, a lot of minutes.
A lot of play, a lot of minutes. But then, the thing about fans, whether you're a Knicks fan or a Bulls fan, is when something don't go right, we're going to find a scapegoat. We're going to find something to be mad about. So if the Knicks weren't winning and not having a great year, they'd be telling him Brunson needs to be shooting more. He needs to utilize him more. He's the best player, But because they're winning, and then he gets hurt, they're like, well, you can't. They're winning because Brunson has a high usage rate, and he should because he's the best player on the team. It's not even close, right?
Yeah.
So you want the ball in his hands all the time, right? Pick and rolls, ISOs, the threes he's hitting, getting to the free throw line, getting fouled. It all comes with the game of basketball. And I think Thibodeau's getting, he did that with Rose. He did it with the guys in Minnesota when he was in Minnesota for a little bit. But you want to use your best players. And if the guy got hurt, you get hurt. It happens. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
The Knicks will be fine. But one thing I almost sent you this today, and I didn't because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. But I saw something funny today.
What's that?
New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, I think it was, I don't know if it was some guys on ESPN. I can't remember who said it, but they basically said the Knicks are like an IG model. They look good. They got the filters. They got the tits out. Like they got the best dress. They got the perfect angles.
Yeah.
Right? Everything looks good. It's like, ooh, the Knicks franchise, Madison Square Garden. And then you meet them in person and you try to take them on a date. That ain't the same person. It ain't the same chick. She looks different. That's kind of how the Knicks are to some people.
I think because it's the Knicks, the problem is people get a little bit too excited when they play well. Because it's been 40 years, not 40, but it's been a long time since the Knicks were actually playing. I was actually watching old YouTube clips of Patrick Ewing with John Starks and Charles Oakley and Anthony Smith and Ant Mason. And it was like, damn, that team. And also the 99 with Allen Houston and Sprewell and Camby. Like, we just want a good team. Did I think they were going to the finals? Like, people were saying that a little bit. And I'm like, oh, slow down.
No.
We need to all slow down. And now since, Jalen's hurt, a little slow down, now we all worried. The Knicks still need one more guy. At least one more superstar to go in with Brunson. Yes, Brunson is only 6'2". He's too small to be the guy. It's okay to say that without disrespecting him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the way Candace Parker did it because she literally she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. She said, yeah, in the playoffs, he played bad. Like, you're not watching the games, so why are you talking? So, but Becky Hammond's example, like, she got a little bit of heat too by saying he's a small guy. The only small guy that's been winning championships is Curry, and Curry throwing,
some facts, some historical.
Right.
The only guy that's that size winning is Curry, and before that it was Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, we had Iverson. Like, it's hard to have your best player be 6'1" too. Yeah. So I understand that they need one more person. I'm not even sure who's available, who they're looking for. I know they were looking for OG, and that's a great player, but that's obviously not what you need. So I would say at least one good player away.
I agree.
To do something. Now, I'm not saying championship, but now we can take you seriously. Can you handle the Bucks with one more superstar on the team? Probably. Yeah. Or the Celtics at least to make it competitive. Yeah. But right now, we're good. Fifth in the league right now? Fantastic.
A couple of years ago, Knicks weren't in the playoffs, right?
Correct.
So when you go from winning 30 games a year, 40 games, and now you're like, okay, well, can we get up to almost 50 wins a year? Like, that's progress. And they're in the playoffs. And last year, they did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. They win a post. These are big. These are things that aren't normal for Knicks in the last 30 years, right? So this is a good thing. It's going in the right direction. Do I think they're going to compete for an NBA championship? There's a lot. There's 6 more teams, in my opinion, that are a little bit better than the Knicks. So they're one guy away. If you install another guy, a better 2 guard, another elite scorer, so Jalen doesn't have to do as much, or a stretch big, like they're missing Porzingis. He's with the Celtics, but if the Knicks had Porzingis right now on that team with the healthy Randall, Brunson, OG, DiVincenzo, right? Josh Hart kid. That's a squad because you got now you got a big that can defend. He can hit the three. You know, like they're missing a guy like that, in my opinion. And he's not. You know, there's only a couple of guys like that. But that to me, then it's like, man, they could go to the finals if you a guy like that. But
he was there. He didn't want to be there anymore. That's why he went to Dallas or something like that. And they found Luka. And it was like, get the hell out of here. You're not with this. Like, which makes sense. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? I see everyone's coming in, saying hi to everybody. I see UDM is in the house. What's up? What's going on? Giggity. Hannibal is nothing but not skeptical. You're so funny.
Kolaya, hello.
Well, yeah, everyone is in here. Yeah, this is our, our time off from our day job. And we're just going to talk a bunch of random stuff about some sports and some social issues and kind of just able to relax. It was a long day. Going in and out of the rain. That no nap today, Pedro. No nap, so I'm a little cranky.
I don't listen. Grown men don't nap, Hannibal. I'm sorry.
Well, then I am not a grown man because I need my naps. This whole week so far has been busy. Monday, I had jury duty, and I got out of it.
So what lie did you tell to get out of it, or were you
legit the truth? But as soon as they said it, I raised my hand and I was like, it was me. Saying if you have child care concerns where you pick up and drop off your kid, raise your hand and you explain. And I was like,
got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, yep. I got a son. I got a kid. He was like, how old? And I was like, 10.
I got to get it right now.
Yeah. Like I can't say. So they said, okay, but most likely they're going to bother me in another year or two. To a point where if you say, I got to pick up my kid and say, how old? I'm like 15. I'm like, get your ass and do some jury duty.
Tell him to take a walk. He's fine.
Right. Like, come on. So it's good because Monday was not the day for me to do that or get picked and I got a lot of shit to do. But no lying. I was trying to figure out, okay, what do you do? Just pretend that you're really stupid or you get offended about everything?
You could answer questions in a really odd way that, you could,
yeah,
you could totally do that. I mean, I've only been picked once. I got out of it because of like some work. This was a long time ago.
Pedro's going to go to jail. So Pedro probably has been getting mail for years to serve jury duty, to serve his civic duty as an American.
No. Mm-hmm.
And Pedro's like, fuck that.
Not doing it. No.
You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it.
I wonder, let me ask the people that are here. Okay. If you want to be honest with us, how many of you guys have done jury duty? Okay. Just yes or no, whatever. Yeah. Have you guys done jury duty? At all. I mean, I haven't, but I was called once. I bet most people in here have not done it.
Then why am I doing it? Like, why am I?
Because you're too nice.
Too nice. So the first time I got picked was a long time ago, probably over 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. Maybe was I even in my 30s? I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I got picked. At that time, I wasn't driving. I don't think I had a license, and I got picked to do like I guess a jury selection. You go into another small room, and you see the defense lawyer, you see the prosecutor lawyer, and they're talking and they're explaining the case. And it was about a car accident. Two people, they were suing each other.
Yeah.
And they were asking questions, and I basically was like, "Well, I don't drive." And obviously, once I said that, I didn't get picked. And I got annoyed I didn't get picked because I guess I was starting to get interested in in the case, like, yeah, who is it at fault? But if I don't fucking drive, there's no reason for me to be there. They're like, this is a terrible juror. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So that was the last time, but this time I was able to get out of it. So we'll see. Giggity haven't, Bodation haven't. Jody said no, but I love the TV show. Oh, she might be talking about something else. Maybe I'm just like I said, the too nice guy. They're telling you that you need to serve your community and you would like to have a jury of your peers, so you should do it too. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
Hannibal, I deliver McDonald's chicken McNuggets, as you would always say. Those nice students, I do that for a living. I serve my community in that way. I'm delivering people Meals on Wheels at times. I picked up some shit from a church a couple of weeks ago and delivered it to some people that needed it. That is doing my civic duty. There you go.
Fair enough. But I was able to at least escape it for a little while. So we'll
I'm gonna have to do it at some point. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can go to jail for it, but I'm sure there's probably some kind of fine.
They say fines. But a lot of people showed up. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of people there, so they should have enough people to pick for these jurors in these cases.
You get paid for it. Is it minimum wage in New York City?
It's something stupid. It's not even worth, like, everyone hates it. You don't get paid enough. If they were throwing out $30 an hour jury, everyone would do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not worth the money, and you're being inconvenienced, and also you may not even want to do it. You're scared, whatever the issue may be. But
if there were $30 an hour, and you could sign up for jury duty, they'd be turning hundreds of people away because people would want to do that. Imagine a Monday through Friday, and you're there for 8 hours, let's say. Yeah, that's a check.
Most of those cases going to be at least a few days. I don't think it's most like that murder stuff, like the OJ trial took months and months. Like that's because first off, that's extremely expensive to do that, to have a jury that long or a trial that long. So most is a few days. Yeah. But I got up and it's well, they just said it would mess up the justice system if they mostly pick senior citizens. They have the time and need the stimulation.
No, a jury of your peers. Okay, so unless this is some kind of like senior citizen crime on crime, you can't just have senior citizens.
But they have nothing to do, right? Like they have no job obligations. They ain't picking no child up. The child's everyone's grown. So it's like, you got nothing to do other than judge people. Yeah. Or at least pick. So it kind of makes sense. But let's move on real quick because Pedro showed me this. Actually, I have a story. You want me to do my story or your story first? What do you want to do?
Do yours.
Okay. So I send this to you. I send you this link. Shit. Do I put the link on my computer? Of course I didn't. Actually, maybe I find it. So there was a GoFundMe, I guess you can call it controversy. Actually, it's a little interesting in terms of, one of the things that people do on social media is, they look at someone that needs some help. Maybe something goes viral, like, hey, this homeless person needs help. Please here's a GoFundMe. And it was kind of like one of those positive stories where this person was able to, I think, generate almost $300,000 for this person. So I think something crazy. So yeah, GoFundMe accused of withholding funds to help unhoused man because of racial bias. So this website is the Shade Room. So it's for the urban crowd. So in January, this woman right here was on TikTok making a video about going above and beyond to help a unhoused man. Almost an unhoused man. He's homeless.
Yeah, what's unhoused? Is homeless? Is that like PC now or something?
I guess so. Like he's homeless. His name is Alonzo Douglas Harburn. So she launched a campaign and raised over $400,000 to assist this man. Right?
$400,000. I feel like all these other GoFundMe's I see, there's like I go on there and it's like $10, $20. Like there's nobody's, and then you see these ones that have 400K. It's crazy, man.
Well, I'm assuming her TikTok must have went super, super viral. So like $400,000, and GoFundMe will not release the money. And this person is saying that it's refusing because of racial bias. Now, the interesting thing about this is,
so she looks like she's black.
Right? She's black, and the guy is, I guess he's black.
White? I can't tell.
Yeah, he's black. He looks like he's a black guy. And he was Alonzo.
Oh, okay. So because she's saying because there's bias because they're black.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to see what GoFundMe is actually saying, because don't sound like, they're not releasing the funds, but the problem is that there is an issue. This man has a history of crime. He was convicted of stabbing a man in 2012. Then he also brutally attacked a woman 4 years ago. So this is the question I have. And actually, let me see if I can get like more details on exactly what he did. But terrible things. He has a notable crime history. So yeah, he was sentenced to 5 years for stabbing a man in the neck with a screwdriver during an altercation in Northeast Washington. Then was another one. Yeah, 2020, he attacked a woman while sleeping outside a church in Washington, D.C. The assault was recorded on camera. I don't have it, but showing that he was punching a woman repeatedly in the head and body. So what's your thoughts on this? Now, obviously, the people who donated didn't know that, right? But should GoFundMe give the person that money? Should they just say, "Hey, here's the money. Obviously, you're homeless. Right? They say, "Hey, take care of this man." Right? And they donated. Or or do what GoFundMe is probably doing is like, you are a criminal. We're not giving you any money. We're not helping you out. But also, I'm trying to find the official word from GoFundMe, but I
Right.
don't see it. But you running GoFundMe, you see this story. What do you think? What's your decision?
Ain't getting a penny.
Yeah.
No. If he was convicted twice, so he's a 2-time felon or something like that, that might be a reason why he's unhomed or unhoused or homeless.
Yeah, mental issues, drug, it's something probably that's.
I'm giving back the money to people. And if I'm GoFundMe and saying, hey, you guys want to help this out on your own, that's fine. But if I'm running a platform to help people in times of need, which is that's what it is, he might have a need, but he kind of fucked up some shit in some other people's lives. So I'm not going to reward that behavior. So I'm not giving him money. No.
Yeah. So the official thing is GoFundMe denied freezing the funds. It says it's their standard procedure to hold donations until the correct beneficiary is added to the fundraiser or distribute plan is established with the organizer.
Yeah.
So, but I guess I mean maybe they're not. But now it's a big conversation here where you beating up and stabbing people in the neck. Should you get that money? I'm sure it must be the discretion of GoFundMe. They developed a platform to raise money, and people have been kicked out of GoFundMes and Kickstarters and all that type of thing. Well, they just said just refund the donations or fund a stay at a treatment center.
That's obviously the money's got to go back to the people, but there's got to be. I think I've contributed to 1 or 2 GoFundMes myself in my life, but
me too.
I've never set one up, but so I don't know what it looks like as far as the paperwork and the fine print. And there's got to be something in there. I would imagine that if they see something that seems fraudulent, not right. It's
right.
going, and there's got to be some kind of verbiage to protect GoFundMe and the people that are donating. Because that $400K, I would imagine GoFundMe's not just keeping it, right? Like it's going to go back to people, I would imagine, at some point. They're not just going to just hold it forever, right?
Right. Yeah. I guess you know what I would do? I would notify everyone who donated and tell them about the new information we've, so if you want to take your money back, you can. This is what this person has done.
Yeah.
Like more information about the person. Because I'm sure this woman, if she knew that he punched some person 4 years ago, she would not have stopped because she'd be worried. I'm like, what's wrong with this person to do that? Like it wouldn't even matter. Or because she wouldn't have talked to the person and tried to get them help. Because there's a lot of homeless people out there who do not commit violent crimes.
Yep.
So I would at least give them the information. And if you want to continue, cool. If you want to keep but if you feel like you've been now with this new information, you can get your money back. That's up to you. So that would be my approach. I don't know, it's a little bit fence sitting. But
let me ask you this. So you mentioned we can probably make a fair assumption this gentleman might have some mental health issues, a substance abuse issues, something going on, right? He's had a rough life, and maybe if we're giving him some grace, because we don't know this guy, right? If we're giving him some grace and benefit of the doubt, maybe he was put in situations and he had to commit crimes and do things. We don't know, right? We don't know we don't know the big story. But would you say that because, let's assume he's got some mental health issues, things like that, should some of this money go to getting him to a spot that is just better suited for him? Maybe it's not like a brand new home, but a facility, some kind of therapy,
treatment. Yeah. Bodacious had a saying, hey, you know what? We will pay for your treatment. $400,000, you should be able to be treated. I don't think you even need all $400,000 to be treated, but that would work. But let me just interrupt real quick with Planet Mondo. Condolences. You had to put your dog down today. Yeah, I paid your props for your video that you put up today. Yeah, I had to put down my dog at least 6 weeks ago. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Even when you're preparing for it, Riley, my dog, he was 16. So like even at that point, it's still a painful process because we love our dogs, man. Like they're extremely special. They're so innocent, right? Like dogs don't stab people in the neck. Well, I hope they don't.
Dogs are only dogs give you unconditional love, man. You don't even get that from your partner sometimes or your kid. Like Dogs love you unconditionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
anything else, you know?
Yeah, it's and I'm definitely taking a long break before I even introduce like a long break before I even think about another animal. It's just you need that time to kind of and it's weird. Sometimes you wake up and you think you're gonna walk a dog, you don't have to because dog is gone. But but much love to you, Mondo. Obviously the good times you had with that dog that's the most important part. But
Yep.
but even going back to this man. I guess it's easy to say, you know what? Don't give him a dime. He can go screw somewhere. I think we still need to figure out a way to help because there's more homeless people here than ever before. At least in America, definitely New York City and other places where there's a lot of homeless. We gotta find a way to fix it. And since homeless is not a profitable industry, it never gets helping out your vets, helping out people who've just been on drugs and all that stuff. We're going to LA. You drove through Skid Row, and you tell me how like sad it was and how
very sad.
And then this part's in Philadelphia, Kensington. It looks bad. There's a YouTube channel called Channel 5 talking about that. They're taking these drugs to the point where the drug is rotting off their bodies. They're getting sepsis and they have to get amputated. Just to get that done costs $1,000. Some people take it upon themselves to do it. Like it's a zombie situation, especially with the fentanyl and all that. That we gotta find a way to help them. But I can see why people will be like, do you deserve $400,000 based on your criminal history? So I understand.
You mean
the apprehension?
It's such a there's so many, we can go so deep with this because there's a lot of other layers and there's things that have happened to this man and other people that get you to the point of where you're at, right? But you mentioned obviously we've talked about the migrants and you're in NYC and I'm in St. Louis, so what we see is very different. But we have it here, but it's not NYC, and NYC is giving people $50K, and you hear these stories and housing and debit cards and credit cards and like all this stuff.
Yeah,
I think a lot of Americans are outraged, at least from what I see, right? That are in these cities like where you're at, because we have veterans, homeless people that have issues, treatment, and there are some programs. There's no money in it, like you said, to your point. There's no money in it, but there are programs to help these individuals, and some come in and out of it, and it is what it is. But they're not. I mean, we're not even taking care of our own Americans that have been here.
Yeah, and I think this man is probably from here.
Millions of dollars, but we're not taking care of people that have already been here. It's weird, man. It's just weird.
Yeah, because right now it's like it's a balance because these people are here now. They don't have anything, so now we're like, what do you do? We got to do something. And in New York City, the mayor did cut back on some of these things, but you may need them. You may need the resources because again, they're out on the street, whether they're committing crimes or becoming victim of crimes themselves. Because now you told everyone that you're giving all this money in a card that anyone could pick up. If you are a criminal out or another migrant looking to do some deals or try to rob people, like, oh, you got a card. You take your card. Yeah. Now I got $10,000 in my pocket. So it's
it's
I didn't
think that. I didn't think about the crime on that end. When you first sent me that story a couple weeks back, one of the first things that came to my head, and I think I mentioned it to you, was like, is the mayor or the government, the politicians of NYC, are they giving the migrants this money to prevent crime? Because when you are somewhere and you're not from there, if you're, I've never been in their position, but when you're desperate, you commit crimes, small crimes and petty crimes or whatever, right? Robbing somebody, doing this, your situation's compromised, you're desperate, your kids got to eat. So I thought, like, are they giving people money because they don't want them to do something bad, possibly in the city that they're in? And so there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but it's just it's very confusing in some ways and upsetting that we got these unhoused people like this gentleman here, and we're not taking care of them at all, but we got all these new people that have been here for a week and they get free room and board, they got food, they got this, they got that. That probably a job quicker sometimes. It's kind of fucked up,
you're trying to you're not being fair, right? It's just not being fair. And I agree with Mondo. Yeah, there's tons of YouTube, and I know there's there's also criticism of YouTubers going into the worst communities, whether it's Kensington or you on Skid Row or you on a few of these areas where the poverty and drug use is so bad that some people think that some YouTubers are exploiting it.
Yeah.
Because once you go down there and you shoot a few videos, you're getting a lot of views. A lot of views, and a lot of views means a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So this, it's like I like Channel 5 because it used to be a channel of him just doing goofy stuff, going into like concerts and just interviewing drunk high people, but he's kind of like Vice, how Vice used to be, where he's going and he's asking questions. It's more of like he's trying to educate people on how crazy and how effed up the situation is. So
Yeah.
I like that approach rather than look at me, I'm in hood. Like, all right.
Yeah, I think you can tell. For me, when I see certain people and they're interviewing people or they're giving you a perspective of the street and somebody's work their predicament right now, like you can tell if they're being genuine or not. I think if you got some fucking kid and he's just got a phone, he's just sticking it in people's face and he's laughing, like, he's making a joke of it, like that will get, but you can tell he's doing it for the clicks. Whereas some people, they do want to educate, they want to allow people to share their story.
Right.
Another, I don't know, maybe it's a YouTube or I think it's called White Underbelly. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, it's a YouTube. Yeah. I used to watch a few of his videos too. Sometimes it's so depressing, like the things he talking to. They call it the underbelly of society. So he's talking to pimps, prostitutes, drug addicts. I think he talked to a hacker one time, a gambling addict. He's talked to, and a few of them are just like so sad. It's like, yeah, this is bumming me out. But it's important to have those people to share their stories.
Yeah.
I think he used to be a photographer, I think, at one point. And then he just started, he's like, I guess this photography stuff's probably not fulfilling him anymore. So he kind of started doing that. Some of these people have been through some shit.
Man, I'm telling you, I mean, when we drove through Skid Row, it was more just about just to see. Because for me, you see a lot of things on the news and it's hard to know what's real. And for me, I want to see it. I want to witness it. I want to just see what does that look like? It gives me a little bit of perspective, humbles me a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's fucking moms with kids, man, tents, and they're just, it was like, it was dark outside when we drove through, so it's nighttime. It could have been 7, 8, 9, I couldn't tell you, but it was dark, and it was people just, and it's like, you can tell they don't know when their next meal is going to be. They got, I mean, a woman with a kid outside, this kid was 2 or 3. It's like, like that, how far do you have to fall to get to that point? Because then it's just it's crazy, man, to think about it.
Yeah, when I do check out a lot of it and also experience it, because I live across the street from a men's shelter, so when you see them and you hear them talking and watching people with a lot of interviews, drugs usually is one of the reasons why this is because the drug abuse has been so bad.
Yeah.
They've either pushed everyone away, or they don't have, it's just everything on to shit because of that. But there also the people they're not on drugs at all, and just bad financial issues, getting laid off. Some of these banking, housing situations where you sign to purchase a home and there's no way you can afford it anymore, because I'm like, so there's a lot of different reasons why, and that's why I'm not the biggest fan. And I know people have to do it. You gotta do it. But some people have glorified van life. I talked about this with Steve. Like I live in my van. Another really popular YouTube niche. Like if you guys want to do well on YouTube, live in your car. Yeah. But you it still have to be engaging and shit. Like you just can't just be like that. No one's gonna watch someone.
Listen,
you gotta be
if you're an attractive man or a woman, but especially if you're an attractive woman and you start a channel and you're living in your car and you can speak, you're gonna make it. You're gonna be all right. Yeah.
Giggity says, I have camping gear. I enjoy going out in the woods and pretend I'm unhoused. I like I like the fact he used the word unhoused. The problem is, remember what was that one young lady that got exposed? I forgot, all in with
something Ari or Ari.
Ari, yeah.
Ari, yeah.
I still don't know how her video blew up the way it did. I still don't understand it. But she did she know someone from YouTube or?
Who knows, man? I've seen someone with YouTube, man. It's weird. Our friend Welty had a video, and
but that one makes more sense to me.
Does it?
Because Trump is such a big deal. Everyone's typing Trump.
Yeah.
that kind of, but I'm living in my car. And I'm like, yeah, there's tons of videos that have people living in a car. Why that one has, but she was attractive. But anyway, Giggity, she got exposed really quickly. So
she did. I think when you're scrolling through YouTube and you see a thumbnail and it's a pretty girl with a pretty smile, a lot of dudes click on that video. Like it's just, I think that helps with the views. Obviously, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the unhoused or the homeless or whatnot, man, it's
homeless, unhoused.
Homeless. I don't know. Giggity's got me with the unhoused. I'm looking at it. It's like what?
So if you're unsexed, you're looking.
Listen,
you're looking for.
Homeless is the word we're going to use here. Okay, we're not trying to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy. Okay.
It's weird. Like it's just like we're moving. Like we keep trying to mess with the language. Where let's be direct. You're homeless. Yeah. You do not have a home. It's like. I'm sure. What else is there? Like you already at that point. Like, oh, if you don't call me unhoused, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Another thing too, I'm upset about. Since we all ranting, we need to all stop saying standing on business. It's played out. I don't know what is going on. I tell you, people, not you, Pedro, but you know what I'm talking about. When they find a phrase, they are going to run it in the ground. And black people are still using the phrase too, so it's their fault. It's done. Every time someone does something stupid or aggressive, they're standing on business. No, it's not. Because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, Cam Newton had a really good video. I didn't get a chance to show it. I don't know if you saw it, talking about his situation.
When he came out, I think it was end of last week, maybe.
Right.
He was talking about. I did watch that, and then I saw some shorter clips of it afterwards. When he would chop it up that live or whatever he did. But I mean, I feel like he talks about it. I feel like for me this year, in the last calendar year, I feel like that standing on business. When you say that, I think of Deion Sanders. I feel like he said it a lot in his speeches when the whole Colorado stuff was hot and he was like talking about business and standing on business and 10 toes down. I feel like a lot of that, for me at least, started with him.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton, I know, used that lingo as well. But I think you're right. It's definitely the time.
And that makes sense for Deion Sanders to say that. For anyone who's doing real business, really taking yourself to the next level, taking your craft or something seriously, not because you fighting some people, you standing on business. What are you talking about? Like, that's the thing. And I liked Cam Newton's response. He was like, this is not something to be happy about. This is not something to be proud about. Yeah. I was stupid. I got triggered. I triggered them. They triggered me. As much as you think it's funny that I can take on for, like, it's not something that I'm embarrassing to my people. People are paying their bills because of these camps I'm doing.
People rely
on them. Yeah. And he says, girl asked him, like, what happened if you actually took that kid and threw him over the balance? Like that dude and threw him, like, what happened if you actually was able to swing on them?
Yeah.
What happened if they hit you? What happened if they had that was a extreme. I had a lot of respect for Cam because some of the football takes are like, all right, cool, whatever. But he's like, this is not something to be proud about. No, I'm not standing on business. I was stupid. That was dumb shit. That was important to say that.
I think he kind of, what happened is kind of what we thought kind of happened. There were some things that both sides owned it, and he got triggered. He admitted that. He referenced the things that have happened in the past, and I mean, I like him. I like how he went about it. He owned it. He stood on business, or whatever you want to call it.
At least if you call it that, where he is taking accountability, because that's what standing on business. At least, my opinion, like you take accountability. You're not just for fighting. You're not standing on anything. I heard it I was in the store. This guy talking about fighting some dudes. Like, I'm standing on business. I'm like, I may talk about this later. I'm just getting tired of this.
Why you're talking about it? Because you just heard that.
I think so. Yeah, it was really stupid. Like, you should have swung on him.
Yeah.
You can stand on business. What business?
Well,
it's your ego. It's your pride. It's not your, like, what business you talking about?
That's exactly what it is. And I think culturally, guys like you and I, sometimes, our uncles, our dads, our brothers, us, like, we feel like we need to, like, be a certain way. You know what I mean? You don't, and it's weak if you don't fight or stand up for yourself, or a guy bumps up to you in a club and you got to make a big deal about it when it's probably not a big deal. Right. Yeah. And it's definitely, it's typically the guys that do that, and when I used to sometimes do that, and even do have moments now, where I'm like, I want to
We
defend.
all have them. We all have those moments. We want to fight. I mean, it's
Right.
also it's part of testosterone. Yeah.
It is, and it comes from a place of insecurity a lot of the times, I think. For me, if I'm having a rough day, or a rough week, a rough month, and something triggers me, my insecurity is because I'm not feeling great about other things, so I'm going to lash out at somebody that I appear to be weaker than me, or that I can take them, right?
Yeah.
So there's some of that, but the stand on business thing, yeah, it's played out, man. But that we've gone through this before. We've had other little terms that we've used, and then they come and they go, and this would be another one of those. So
yeah, that's where it is. It's a lot of insecurity. It's weird energy.
yeah.
Look, this is weird energy. This is weird, right? My life coach Eli sent me the mock your numbers, 11 in the box. Yeah, we have 11 in the box. No problem. Who knows? Who knows? I guess they're just looking to say something.
You're all welcome.
Yeah, we're good. We're fine. Which is like that's why I love this channel, because the people who still here, even after the Eli thing, like those are people who are special to me, because and we talked about this. I said, man, listen, I don't know how long this is gonna last. Some, and it's also okay. You are not forced to watch the things you don't want to watch. So the people who've stuck around even after that is amazing. I think it's pretty cool. And I guess this guy must be a friends of some of them, because I guess he's still upset. Like, y'all talk smart about who talk. I don't remember the last time we spoke about that guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gig. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, it's just so funny. Why even bother? All right, man. Yeah, right. We're barely. We don't know what we're doing, and we got nothing going on. We don't have channels. Other channels that are nope, not at all. We are just who we are.
It's
and I would love to throw it in people's face. Oh, I have people I would love to, but I don't care. It's not even worth doing. I don't even care.
No, it's and it's funny. Just not to talk about too much, because I know we got the other topic, but Hannibal and I both at different times in this channel's relationship, our relationship off YouTube, our friendship, like we've talked about what kind of direction do we talk, how long do we talk about this subject or not? Yeah. Can we continue to milk it and make money? And like we've both been on the side of like we should do it or we shouldn't do it. But at the end of the day, this channel ain't about other individuals. We like to talk about things that are important to us.
Yeah.
And that guy ain't important to us. That's why we don't.
Well, and I hope all y'all are good. Hope Eli is fine. I'm in terms of locales, I'm already hunting the biggest one that has the most views and the most attention.
Yes.
Where me watching her, me having a stream of her talking in a what do you call it, community meeting, is bringing thousands of people.
Yeah.
So why on earth will I care about someone that does not do any of that? Like it's so funny. I guess if you have to worry about it. So I guess if you were on that camp and think, oh, they're gonna go back, no, not at all. Hopefully he figures out the court case, whatever weird stuff. I hope everyone is fine over there. I'm hunting the whale of Tiffany Hayard. Why would I care about this? I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I know. Let's see. Well, yeah. Pedro, your story. We'll put this on real quick.
I saw this on TikTok, I think it was. I saw Hannibal. Basically, I saw something, and we've talked about relationship type things and dating things and what men and women do, and kind of have an opinion. I don't want to get Hannibal's, but basically, a hairstylist in Atlanta has to go on a date by a guy. He takes her to in Atlanta, so I'm assuming it's a Hawks game or NBA game, and they got bad seats, like nosebleeds, right? Like she's looking down, you could barely see who's playing, probably, right? She's happy with that, so she leaves the date there. First is the first date, by the way, and she leaves the date there. So what's your first initial take on it? It's the first date, the guy takes his girl out. Should she have left? Should she have stayed? Is she being too bougie?
Well, I mean, clearly, she didn't care about this guy. Clearly, actually, I found the video. It's about a minute.
Okay. Let's watch.
You see her complaining about it. Let's put it right now.
Somebody invited me on a date, right? So I done did my makeup, put my outfit on. They said we going to a basketball game. Let me show y'all where they got me sitting there. I done left that. I'm sitting in a whole nother seat because I don't even give a. Why would you even play with me like that? Y'all, do y'all see how high I am? Okay. And they keep texting my phone talking about where you at, where you at. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm finna find me another date. These play musical chairs, dog. I'm finna just make this the best I can. They playing some basketball musical chairs, and I'm finna show y'all what they doing. One seat remaining. Okay.
Okay, so she's up there, not happy about her situation. Oh, $2 from Mustafa Tiger. Hats off for not banning me, fellas. Have a good night. Have a good night, man. We're good. No, it's all love, dude. Good luck, man. Of course she is offended. You can tell she is
offended.
used to a certain lifestyle that is not happening in this situation. And she's like, you've wasted my time. I have probably been in better seats and better places. And how dare you? You got me up in the nosebleed seats. Like, she's accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and it shattered her to a point of like, I'm so mad, I'm going to complain about this, no matter how out of touch. And everyone is saying that she's terrible and she's ungrateful and doesn't understand, like, if a man took time to pay for tickets, even nosebleed. I don't know how much nosebleeds
Don't
in
matter.
New
That
York City
still costs money.
are like $200.
Probably.
It still costs some money. So her behavior is he dodged a bullet. I'll say that. He dodged a bullet.
For sure. Long term. I mean, we don't know. He could have been like, hey, I got these great seats, front court, or I got these good seats. And to him, any seat could be good. But maybe he painted a picture that wasn't reality. And they get there and keep walking up them damn stairs. He's like, where are we going? And
we're still going up the stairs.
You know what I'm saying? He's like,
no. We got another escalator going up. We're on.
Right. I'm not sitting up here. Like, I got dressed up. I want to be seen next to the Atlanta rappers or whoever it is that's important in Atlanta, right? So, I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, I struggle with this one because if I really like her, or if I'm trying to get her, right? I'm trying to do whatever my goal is with this woman. Okay. If I'm dating to marry, if I think she's the one, if I'm just trying to smash, like whatever this man's goal is, he failed. And as a dude, if you're taking a chick out on the first date, you can't fail. So, he got away with one. He dodged a bullet, as you said, 100%, very well.
Yeah.
But also, he didn't do enough, clearly, for what he was trying to achieve. And
she's not attracted to him. She's not attracted because if she wouldn't do that, even if the seats were a little off, like she's not attracted, and she thought something else was supposed to happen. So Giggity says she's not accustomed; she's entitled. But where's that entitlement came from? It must be like for it to work. She would have to have been given some things for her to think, oh well, I always get this because so and so. He had to test her out before giving the flips.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, some dudes nowadays, guys that have money or whatever. They will take you to a particular restaurant, just to test to see your loyalty or what kind of person you are, your kindness. That's a good point. You know what I mean? Like if she would have been like, you know what? Oh, I never sat up here. This is a different kind of view, and just made a joke of it, but stayed and get to know the guy.
Just chilling, like you hanging out, talking, you watching. Like, I doubt she cares about the game. I mean, she didn't sound like it. She's like they're playing game. Like so, you're not really there for the game anyway. I don't know. I definitely someone you don't want to be with.
Listen, I'll say this, and you might agree or disagree. Or you guys can agree or disagree. I think a lot of people that go to NBA games, if you're sitting in the front row, you're probably a celebrity or something, and you ain't there for the game. You're there for the event. Right. You're there to be seen. You're there to have a picture taken. Like, who else am I going to run into? Maybe you're networking. You ain't there to watch the game for real. You know?
No. So it's to be seen, and. It's interesting for him to even have a first date going to an NBA game. I never thought about that as a first date option. Yeah, I know a lot of women remember we saw that woman that her TikTok complaining that she doesn't do coffee dates because she hasn't put too much effort into looking as good as she does to deal with you and your coffee date. She wants to go to a really good restaurant or go F yourself. So everyone has different standards. The first date should be a low investment date. I don't understand. Do you need to go all out and spend a lot of money? when you don't even know if you like each other, or at least it's a first date. So why would someone should invest, $150 per seat dinner if you don't even like it? What happened if you two hang out, they're sitting down, and you guys have nothing in common. You actually don't like each other. Now you guys sit there through the entire dinner. Like, a coffee date could have stopped this pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Dark Man Jeff says, man, I used to take women out to local restaurants for small sandwich shops just to see how she acts. Good barometer. I do think there's something to be said for that. I've never spent what I would consider a lot of money on a first or even second date. Never. Yeah. To me, it's not. I'm trying to get to know you. Man. I'm not trying to like show you or try to impress like that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Now I've had dates where I wanted to impress a woman because I really thought like I really liked her. I'm attracted to her. I've been trying to date her for a while, whatever. But you can still impress without spending a lot of money. I think typically men that are going to spend a lot of money, unless you're like a multi-millionaire, billionaire already, if you're just an average dude like Hannibal and I, and you're throwing a bag out there on the first date, you're probably broke. And you know what I'm saying? You're trying to show something that ain't reality. You're trying to paint a picture, and that's just not going to last anyway.
Yeah, because you can't keep it up. You can't keep up with how much you're going to keep spending. So I'm sure those tickets were probably reasonably priced. And it's about the event. Hang out, sit back. You can get something to drink. I mean, I know in New York City, you're paying. If a guy taking you to the game, even your nosebleeds, that man's spending a lot of money on you. So you better not, be. But yeah, it's unfortunate that some women do have that, but you got to avoid them. Giggity says his escorts never complain about cheap seats. That's good. They take care of you, and you take care of them, and that's how.
Good. Is that how it goes, Giggity? Is that how?
But they better not be complaining. They have a job to do. Damn it.
Yeah. It depends on your level of escort, Giggy. I don't know what your pay scale is and what you're paying, but yeah.
Well, he keeps getting those large orders. It's limitless, right? Like
that's a lot of McDonald's you got to deliver, bro.
Yeah, or get some glitches together, and you're able to just be a billionaire.
Yeah.
I didn't watch not one bit of the combine. Did you anything to?
I've seen ESPN clips and news thing. I've never watched the combine thing. I've seen clips. But
there's one dude that went 4.2 like
broke the record. Yeah,
flew like, and you probably won't hear from him again. But a dude flew. I'll say that.
Well, a guy like that. I mean, he was going to get drafted, but his draft stock went way up. By him doing that, he made an extra $1 because maybe he was going to be a second or third round. Like somebody might take him into late first, early second. Like he's going to make some extra money. But the one thing I got from the combine and what I've seen, because I follow some of the Bears people, because we got the number 1 pick. It's kind of a big deal. We don't know what we're going to do. I've been saying, and I've been consistent with this, we should keep Justin Fields, trade down, take Marvin Harrison Jr., then get an offensive lineman or another pick, or there's a lot of options. If right now it's leaning that a lot of people think the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams if they can trade Justin Fields to the Falcons or trade him.
Yeah, I was hearing that. It seems like Jason Fields wanted to go to the Falcons, I read that.
But I've also heard him say he wants to stay in Chicago. So I don't know what to believe, but
yeah,
I don't like what I'm seeing from Caleb Williams. I don't like his makeup. I think he can obviously ball out, Heisman winner. The way he answers certain questions, to me, I don't know if he's.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's like he's a little weird.
I just don't know. So the Chicago Bears offseason is going to be interesting. But the way Caleb Williams is just, he didn't throw, he doesn't need to do any of that. But he's answering questions and he's just doing it in a way of like. He's too. Justin Fields is actually pretty like this all the time. He's dealt with a lot in Chicago. He's very. Yeah,
like one little moment he was a little upset and said something wrong. But other than that, he's pretty
even. Caleb Williams, I've seen him have a lot of range of emotion.
Okay.
He lost a big game in college. He went in the stands. He was like crying on his mom, was holding him like a baby. Like there's some things that he's done that people are like, oh, he's being vulnerable. But then it's also like it's just weird. It's not normal, right?
Yeah.
It's just not normal behavior. So I don't know if I can trust him to lead the Bears to the promised land. I just don't know if I can. But I can't trust Justin Fields either. So
yeah.
weird spot.
Quarterbacks need to be like that egghead brain nerd that they're kind of awkward because they're able to just have all that pressure on them.
Well, it's the
Or
toughest
when they make
sports.
right, you make a terrible mistake and you literally have to forget that over the next drive because it's over. You have to move past it. You can't sit there like the diva wide receiver complain. Like you have to literally, like I think Kelsey was talking about Patrick one time. They went to see a volleyball game or something like that, some kind of game. But you see before they get into, I guess to check it out, Patrick Mahomes is in the car watching film.
Oh yeah, I mean
Just watching. Like you have to be that nerdy. Just you're obsessed with this thing, and if you're a little bit too, I don't know what you call that. We were saying in terms of Caleb, the way he's answering questions, it seems like I don't know. You feel like he's not better, smart in the room, but he wants to be clever instead of just saying the same boring stock answers, which we all like. Study hard, stay. Like I like those answers because if you try to get a little bit too crafty, too creative with it, it's like, okay, what are you trying to do? You're trying to bring the attention to yourself. I don't know.
You should, as a quarterback, you got to focus on the team, yourself, the community, the city. Focus on the game plan. You got to be robotic in a way,
right?
And I think some of the better quarterbacks are typically robotic, especially in the beginning, and then the personality can kind of come out. But when you lead with the personality, you're going to get some wins. You might take your team to a Super Bowl, like Cam Newton did. Talked about him earlier. Yeah. But them dudes ain't usually winning it all. Right? And I want the Bears to win it all. I don't want just playoffs. I don't want, so for me, the Caleb Williams, something about him, it just don't fit right. It's just something don't fit. I'm unsure about him. I know the talent's there, but Justin Fields is talented too. So I just don't know if is he enough to where we basically just get one. Well, right now we have 2 first-round picks, number 1 and number 9. But if we trade down, we can actually have 3 first-round picks in the first 15 picks.
Yeah.
Is he that good to where we just pass that up? We pass up a whole nother prospect? I don't think he is. So I don't know what the Bears will do, but it'll be interesting.
We'll see. I know the Giants did not put the franchise tag to Saquon Barkley, so he's going to be a free agent. They may not rule it. They may do it. He's not going to be back.
You don't think so?
Probably not. I mean, problem is this is how it's going to work. Another team is going to probably overshoot. And you're like,
Dallas.
Running back, one more.
Dallas.
If you go to Dallas, I'll be.
I mean, well, the reason I say that is
Tony
Pollard is a free agent. That was their RB1. He didn't have a great year last year. He's not a workhorse back. They got rid of Zeke. I could see Saquon going to Dallas. I think that's
all right. Then the Giants need to overpay and keep him. I cannot deal. If Saquon is.
It's hard. It's hard to get back a lot of money. It's hard nowadays, especially now
because you know what's going to happen. Because I think just like all other running backs, how many years he has left? Realistically, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Cool.
But the thing is, there's right now, I believe, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, and there's 2 other running backs, Austin Eckler. There's top line running backs. They're all free agents, and I don't think any of them have a franchise tag. So that shows you the state of the NFL and how they value running backs. So some of these guys are going to get maybe a 1-year, 2-year deal somewhere, but most of them aren't getting 4 or 5 years like they want. So it's going to be an interesting market.
Yeah, Gigsley say if they put the tag on him, he may get he gets injured. He gets injured every year. He gets a few games off. So if you're really thinking about it, is it worth you spending? I don't know what's the rate now? 15 mil.
I mean, it's got per annually. I think it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope. And the problem is the leverage is he has some leverage because we don't know what we're doing with Daniel Jones. He won that playoff game and then he decided to do nothing after the season. So I don't know. I think the Bears definitely have more pieces and picks and more that they can do to change everything compared to Giants, where we gotta figure out should we overpay for Saquon Barkley. So
we've got money, so we can bring in a free agent. The Bears could do a lot. It's a pivotal time, and there's a case to be said for them to keep Fields or also to draft Caleb Williams. But more importantly, probably if I'm being honest, what's going to really mold the team is how they draft beyond the quarterback or whatever. How's the 9th pick, and if they trade the other pick, and then what are they doing free agency? Are they going to bring in a wide receiver? Are they going to get a running back? Are they going to, help. The defense was actually pretty solid the second half of the year, but we need some offensive line help. So they have money to spend against salary cap. So that's going to be probably more influential, at least immediately. The long term with the quarterback decision, that could take a few years to see how it pans out. So
yeah. Well, we got all a couple months to talk about that. Giggity said, "What about them Texans going to do? Winning the division again? Probably not. I mean,
the Texans. I mean, they got CJ Stroud.
You think they're going to win again?
They're looking on. You got the Colts and you got Jacksonville. Jacksonville's probably not going to be. Jacksonville should be better. I think they down. They went
a down one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough division, I think.
Jaguars cut Darius Williams. Should the Texans picked him up? Is he good? I don't know. I don't remember if Darius Williams was really good at all. We'll see. I mean, it's interesting. We still, NFL is such a big deal talking about, even though the next game is going to be
a while. Yeah,
a while from here. So the NBA, man, we got to get on the NBA. We got to talk about that. This weekend, what you got going on? What are you doing?
Finishing some renovations at the house, which is not fun at all.
This whole house.
I finally
Bob Vila.
Yeah, this whole house. Did you watch that show?
Vaguely. I didn't understand what the hell he was doing. I saw the plaid shirts, and it was, I was like, oh, he looks like he knows what he's talking about.
Actually, that was basically before YouTube. And if you wanted to do you wanted to learn, that's what people do.
Bob Ross with the painting. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I had to paint. I just got them painting the room, the bathroom, and I had to do some more flooring stuff and some trim. I did that in the last 2 days, but I got to finish up a few things. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. I got some yard work to do because it's getting nice in St. Louis, and the old lady wants to put a small playground set in the backyard. So I'm on my dad stuff.
So you're doing the dad stuff. You got to build stuff. So that's good. At least it get doing some positive stuff for the family. I have no idea what I'm doing for the weekend. Hopefully it stopped raining. I'm tired of this fucking rain. It's just.
You guys got a lot this past week or so.
Yeah, well, yeah. 1 minute it's 60 degrees, and next minute it's 20. I can't keep up with this weather, and also I have a little cold too. So this weather is kind of shitty, but
yeah,
we'll see how it works.
Well, I guess we will be. We can tell the audience we'll be in downtown LA in about 3 weeks. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
Oh, apparently, Abby Lynn came in with some information. Said, for your information, the basketball date girls, she did it for views. There were free tickets from her cousin's job. They were there together.
Of course, Abby. It's hard with these stories because it's hard to know what's true and what isn't. But I'm not surprised by that. Thanks for the info.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the views come. What do you do next?
Not exactly.
So you did it and you blew up. Okay, then what's the next move?
A lot of views on TikTok, and maybe it made you a couple $100. Now what do you do, right? Yeah.
And you have to have thresholds of, I forgot. It's TikTok. I don't say it's more difficult, but you have to have a lot of views and a lot of subscribers or followers. So okay, you blow up. Okay, then what's part 2?
Yeah.
Which is fine. At least you get your initial hit. But that's the thing about the content creating thing. It's okay, you blew up. Okay, what's part 2? Well, you don't have a part 2, and then it just we don't see you again. So
you get your 15 minutes, man, and that's it. Some people, that's all they want, and more importantly, some people that's all they can literally handle is a 15 minutes.
Good, that's a very good point.
That they don't have the wherewithal to go to the 16th, 17th, 18th minute. They can't handle it. So, and that's okay. Just take your 15. Hannibal will handle his 15 years and we'll be good.
We'll see. We'll see how long this ride goes, but I definitely going to exploit it as much as I can. It's a bad look if he's trying to get her escort business going. Yeah, if that was her goal, no, clearly.
You got OF. You got.
I saw her. No, it's not. No, very small, like a small woman, not that we expect with the IG fully blow. Like she don't look, she's enhanced or anything, but
I don't mind.
I don't think
you like to.
Right. I mean, I like to see, difference between wanting and committing, but yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There is a difference.
It's a difference. On that note, guys, enjoy your end of the week and your weekend. Don't get in any trouble. We'll be back here on Monday. I'll be back. I know last Monday it was on me, so we'll be back fully in on Monday talking about all types of things.
We will. I'll be here too.
On that note, people, enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.